competition in the secondary. What I think is interesting about Steve Wilks coming in is he is a secondary guru, and it seems pretty clear that he like handpicked the secondary players in free agency in the draft. And that makes me feel like all incumbents better look over their shoulder, except for ones who make a ton of money or in the or were a first team or second team all pro, because you don't know Wilks' preferences. D'Amico's gone. D'Amico loved Amador Lenore. D'Amico loved Tayshaun Gibson. D'Amico's gone. And now you got Isaiah Oliver here. You got Darrell Luter Jr. here. You got Jair Brown here. And you have no idea how Steve Wilks is looking at any of these competitions.
Yeah.
There could be like 2 incumbent starters from last year in the secondary. It's very interesting. What do you think?
Something I caught. I think it was John Lynch. They were talking about the DBs, the safeties, and he was surprisingly lukewarm on Huff and Gibson. Like in his words. His words were like, hey, yeah, those guys played great last year, but we're not going to hand anybody a starting position. And you would think like Huff and Gibson coming back, that was a guarantee. But the way he worded it was a little surprising to me. He almost opened the door, and maybe that has something to do with Wilks wanting to decide who plays where. But he wasn't really like overly complimentary of Huff and Gibson, who I think deserved it based on last year. So, I mean, he could definitely switch things up here. I think this is the biggest thing with the 49ers that's going to be well, one of them. Obviously, quarterback competition is going to be huge, but watching the defense, the differences in the defense this year is going to be key.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Tayshaun Gibson has to be looking over his back right now. The Niners traded up to take someone at his position, and he only has 1 year on his contract. He's only guaranteed $1.1 million this year. Like, there is no guarantee he starts at all. In fact, if it's close between Brown and Gibson, you might just go with Brown because he's younger. Like, why would you play the older guy over the younger guy if it's close? So Gibson's a guy who might not start this year, even though he was great last year. They could trade him.
And there's a high chance that Isaiah Oliver is your starting nickel.
Yep.
And then
absolutely.
You got to look at
so Lenore. So that's another one. Lenore, like, where do you fit in, man? Where do you fit in? Because it seems like Wilks wants to play press man coverage. It seems like he brought in a bunch of corners who have 32, 33-inch arms. Like, that's not your physical profile. It seems like they drafted you back when they liked Jason Verrett and thought they could get by with other cornerbacks who were sort of small like that. Like, first, you're not Jason Verrett, and I don't think Steve Wilks is looking for that type. So that's another one.
There's a possibility. I mean, I haven't seen Luter in person. You saw him, and there's a long way to go, but I could see even Luter giving Lenore some competition. I think that's possible as well.
Yeah. And then, I mean, there's Travarius Ward. Like, Travarius Ward, they invested a lot in him, but again, that was when D'Amico was here. That was when Corey Unlin was here. We don't know how Steve Wilks feels about Travarius Ward. And frankly, Travarius Ward was getting torched down the stretch. He got smoked by DK Metcalf in the playoffs. It didn't matter because they won. And Lenore outplayed Travarius Ward the last 3-4 games of the season. Definitely the last 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he's – what I thought was interesting was they had Luter playing left corner at rookie minicamp. Not like preparing him to take Lenore's job, but preparing him to back up Ward. I don't know. Maybe it could change around, but Ward too. You don't know how Wilks feels about you, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ward, they invested so much in him, he'll probably have all opportunities to keep his spot. But next year, the year after that, anything's up for grabs, and Ward's going to have to come out and play his best ball. But I think Isaiah Oliver, people aren't talking about him a lot, but I think he's going to be a factor as well this year.
I think so too. And again, you can see what Wilks wants to do. He feels like, and I agree with him, you can't just play passive zone coverage and win the Super Bowl. When you eventually face a Hall of Fame quarterback and they dice that up. Yeah. Like, you have to actually match up eventually. And if you're going to do that, you need guys who are really big and athletic and with long arms.
And then what about Quantrez Knight? That's another guy that to think about. Young guy. Sam Womack, another young guy. I mean, Ambry Thomas could be in trouble here.
Honestly, any DB who was brought into this team before this year, gotta wonder. Like, I don't know who this Steve Wilks is. I don't know what he thinks of me. Right. I mean, you even mentioned like John Lynch was a little more lukewarm on Hufanga than you would expect. Yeah. You just have no idea what Wilks thinks he can do with Hufanga. Maybe he's D'Amico's, ideal strong safety. Maybe he's not Steve's ideal strong safety. We'll see. Because if you watch Hufanga's tape from last year, There's some low lights.
Yeah.
Wilkes saw that. I'm curious what he thinks.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to be playing press man coverage and you're expecting Hufanga to play safety and protect you and from getting burnt deep. He's probably not the best guy to do that.
No. And, you know, the difference between Hufanga and Gibson is like Hufanga takes chances. He stopped at the end of the season, but he's the one. You say he's instinctual. That means sometimes he like blows his assignment or intentionally leaves his assignment because he has a feeling, which you could call hero ball. Which if it's Ronnie Lott, if it's Troy Polamalu, you say I'll live with it. It's a freaking Hall of Famer. They'll be right more than they'll be wrong.
Yeah.
Talanoa Hufanga in your first year as a starter, dude, you haven't earned that. Like play right, play sound for longer. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Huff's better with everything in front of him. I mean, you might even see one of these. I mean, you could see Isaiah Oliver in certain situations drop back and play safety. I think that's a possibility as well. I mean, who knows what he's going to do, but you really want a coverage safety in third and long if you're going to be aggressive.
True. And I see people saying like, hey, you know, the Niners might play some dime coverage on third down to get 3 safeties on the field. You really paid Dre Greenlaw all that money to take him off the field on third down so you could play a rookie? Like, I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Like, they're coming. It's not Greenlaw's playing time who's going to get cut into. It's Gibson's.
Yeah.
You know, it's a dude like Wilkes doesn't know you, and he likes Brown. All I know is he likes Brown. I don't know how he feels about Gibson.
Yeah, I'm a big Huff supporter, but I think even Huff has to.
True. You
could see some of his snaps go down a little bit.
Yeah. Niner Grandpa still wants it. He says, "Where's your sweater, Iggy? Man, I got a lot of nice sweaters. It's just been kind of. I'll wear the sweater on the college show."